Through my needs assessment of my school, I found out that there were some deficiencies in deeper thinking and learning, specifically problem solving, metacognition, and assessment, as well as authentic work in the areas of authentic role of students and authentic assessment, and then student agency, specifically learning goals, learning activities, interest based, and text selection. So, my proposal addresses each of these issues in a unique way for the school. So, this is my concept map, a more generalized version, and then I specifically focus on tech in this concept map. So, I have a three-tiered proposal of implementation, the first being authentic projects and assessment, which hits several of the areas for the needs assessment, as well as student agency, and then technology integration. Um, we are doing a really good job of incorporating technology in the classroom, but there are some areas where we can do better. We are trying to work our best to do best practices, but as we grow, we are continuing to try to meet the needs assessment and better include technology. So, authentic assessments was an area where I think we could really improve. Why is this important? We want to really engage students through authenticity. If students feel that things are authentic, then they'll be more engaged and more successful. There can be more authenticity in their assessments overall as a school, and including technology in that as well. They need to be able to see the relevance between what they are learning and producing and how that relates to life outside of the classroom. So some elements that I think are important for authentic assessment would be advanced problem solving, collaboration, and then a variety of choice. So some examples of how we could include advanced problem solving. So for the English course, if you're studying The Great Gatsby, translating those problems and issues presented in the story to today, and then having students authentically work with the problems and applying them to real world situations, just like they happen in the story, but to things today. So showing that they understand the themes and ideas in the story, but in today's climate. For science, maybe working with global warming and taking elements they've learned about the Earth, and if this was an Earth and space class, and then using those elements to come up with solutions to mitigate global warming. So that'd be an advanced way to problem solve. Collaboration, getting the students in small, large groups, but then also working curricularly. So it would be really great if we could have the history and English department or the science and English department working together to have our students be in groups together. And then potentially beyond the classroom, how can the students connect globally to other students worldwide? There is one area where this is touched on in this needs assessment when we talk about competitions that I speak about it later. Also providing a variety of choice of how the assessment is produced. So they could do a digital assessment, a video assessment, maybe using social media or a podcast. And these are just a few examples of how to authentically assess students with a variety of choice on their end. So then moving into student agency, which ties directly into authentic assessment, students need to have a voice, choice, and leadership in their classroom. So touching on the metacognition, knowing their learning goals, setting their own learning goals, and then looking back on how did I learn and did I meet those learning goals. Maybe the students are involved in setting the rules, what technology they're using, and even the pace of instruction. This can also be with that problem-solving project-based learning when they are setting pace. Choice can happen in a variety of different ways. They could choose a specific topic within the larger content of what they're learning. They can choose how they're presenting their assessment and potentially choosing group members. And then leadership, if the classroom is truly student-centered, they will be the leaders in the classroom. So moving to a more student-centered, student-driven environment. And then our final branch is the technology integration, and this continues to foster authenticity. We really want to have integration that leans on how the students will need it in the world after high school. So future and career readiness with our technological integrations. So just a few ways that we can begin to include technology more is through blogging and vlogging. So anything that students potentially wrote could be a vlog. A vlog is an individualized presentation or production of knowledge. Um, if we wanted to add collaboration into this, we could turn it into a podcast. Blogging could be a great way to do formative assessments, check in with the students in a very low stakes way. Educational competitions, I spoke a little bit about this before, but this is a way to get on the global scale or maybe national scale. There are two that I'll speak about particularly, but you can integrate the technology with these competitions. And then students can actually create their own assessments, which is a great way to understand if they actually learn the content, gives them agency, and it's an authentic way of understanding if they learned it and how they're doing. So how and when to vlog, like I said, almost any written assessment or written assignment could be a vlog. I included some vlog tech tools and a podcast tool. So Flipgrid, which is now Flip, YouTube, Spotify for podcasts, and Adobe Express. And then how and when to blog, I did touch on this already too, that Google Docs, EduBlogs, and WordPress are all great tech tools to do this. So the New York Times, the Learning Network, and NPR both have nationwide educational competitions that you can get your students involved in. And it's a great way to connect outside of the classroom while still being relevant to what you're doing inside the classroom. So I would highly suggest that we look into this as a school and as different departments to get our students outside of the classroom while still being physically in the classroom. And then student-centered assessments, you can use Pear Deck is a great way to have students create slides, and they could be the teachers, it could be a project, or it could be assessment. They could do it collaboratively or individually. And then Socrative and Kahoot are two ways to gamify the classroom. They can do a review, they could create an assessment, tons of different ways to use both of these tech tools to really engage technology in the classroom authentically and give students that agency that they need. And then one more thing just for us teachers, we already do have a lot of professional development included in our school about technology. So if you are in need of any resources, you can go to our Tech Innovators. We have the Tech Tuesday recordings and live sessions you can go to. There's a tech blog. We have a Schoology tech page, and we also have our school tech department that you can go in each of the buildings. So please remember to use these resources or reach out to any people who you may need if you want to implement one of these techniques and are unable to do so on your own or just need a little bit of extra support. So all these things can help us move forward